So not only do we want to tune our eyes to be able to see the different colors of light, sometimes you'll notice that there's colors that are different based on whether you're looking at a highlight or a shadow. So now a highlight and a shadow, all that means is a brighter area or a darker area. That's a highlight or a shadow, okay? So when I talk about that stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about if you didn't already know that. Highlights and shadows can have different colors because if there's two lights in a room and they're coming at different angles to somebody, certain lights are blocked based on different angles that they hit somebody. So if I put my fist up like this and I shoot a gun, well, I don't want to do that. Let me shoot something. Let me shoot a stream of water. Okay, so I'm shooting a stream of water towards my fist. All right, hold the phone for just a second. What I'm talking about now is really kind of confusing, and I just want to give you a visual, and then we'll get back to the video. So really quick, you can see we have 4 pictures down here, all illustrating different things. This first picture, all I have set up is one flash on the left side shooting in, and the light hits the camera and then creates a shadow over here because the light can't get through the camera, obviously. So that's why it creates a shadow. The shadow is the light that can't get through. So that we know the light's coming from over here because the shadow's over there. So the light's traveling this way and then hitting the camera, and then, because of that, the shadow is created. Now, you can see it's got a blue tone, but that's not a problem because the only color light in this entire shot is a bluer tone. So we can actually pull that to a cleaner type of white. And if we go too far, you can see we actually get to be orange. But there's some spot in there that's a cleaner white. We don't need to stick with this blue, okay, because there's only one color of light. Now come to this shot, and you can see that we have a bluer tone in the shadows here and a more orange tone in the shadows here. So I have a light over on this side that's shooting in and hitting this camera and creating a shadow. And I have another light over on the right side that's shooting in and hitting the camera and creating a shadow on the left side. So I have 2 separate lights, both of which are creating shadows because the camera is blocking them from the light getting through, okay? And so we can see clearly that this over on this side, it does have a blue tint to it, meaning this light over on this side, which is creating this shadow, is also hitting this side clean, because the light from over here can hit that area no problem. The light from over here isn't being blocked to this area. The light from over here is being blocked from this area. That's the shadow it's creating. So come over here, the reason why this is a bluer tone is because this light on this side is bluer. Okay? So even though this shadow is created by the light over on the right side, this light over here is coloring in the shadows a little bit. It's not completely destroying the shadows, but it's making the shadows lighter, and it's adding that blue tone because it's got a bluer color to it. And over here, the reason why this is orange is because the light from this side can hit that shadow directly with an orange tone. At the same time, this light from over here is trying to get through with that blue tone, but can't get through with that blue tone. So the light from over here is blue, and it's hitting this camera, and it's trying to get through, but it can't because the camera's blocking it. So it's creating that shadow. And then it's colored in orange because this light on the right side can hit that area and gives it that yellow tone. So here's the problem. When you use 2 different color lights in the same shot, if you try to, let's try to correct for this blue tone. If we try to correct for the blue tone, we need to pull it more toward orange. And as we pull it toward orange, what we're doing is we're correcting for this side. This tone over on this side is becoming less blue and more orange, which is actually good for this side. But this side is even worse because it started off orange and we're making it more orange. So that is a horrible thing to do if you mix 2 colors of light. If you try to correct for the blue by pulling it orange, you end up pulling everything orange and it messes up this side. Now, let's try to correct for this side now. Let's pull it more blue. And you could see that we end up pulling out, you can see we can pull out the orange from this side, But then it creates a problem for this side because this side started out more blue. Okay, so let's go to the next shot right here. Now this is a shot with both sides on for orange. They're both orange. They both have orange gels on them. So the color of the light on this side, the color of the light here is shooting this way with an orange gel. And the light from over here is shooting over this way with an orange gel. So they're shooting the same color. And we can see it's got kind of an orange tint. So if we pull it more towards blue, we're making the light clean and white instead of that orangey tone. Okay, so even though it started out more orange, because it was the same color orange, we can correct that. That's totally fine. And in the same way, take a look at this shot. This shot is without any gels on. It's like kind of a bluer tone. This is actually the direct flash color. Now I'm using a white balance that doesn't correct for that because I wanted to show you the blue and the orange in the same shot. But this blue color is actually just directly from the flash. All right, so it's a kind of a bluer tone that comes out of your flash. But because they're both blue, both sides were blue, or both sides were just the bare flash bulb. And because of that, we can correct that by making it more orange. And you can see we get that clean tone again. So it doesn't matter if it starts out more orange because we can pull it more blue, or if it starts out more blue, we can pull it more orange. The problem is when you start out with different colors on in the same shot, and then as you try to correct one way or you try to correct the other way, you end up screwing yourself up because there's two different colors of light. All right, now back to the other video, and we'll continue down that road. So now you have these visuals to really understand what I'm saying. My fist is going to get hit with water, but this backside over here doesn't get hit at all because my fist is blocking the stream of water. And if I'm going to change hands now, the same fist, if I'm shooting from this direction, this area will get completely covered with water, but this area won't because it's blocked. The fist is in the way. Now, light doesn't work much differently. If we have something in the way and we have a light over here and a light over here, both of those are going to hit the fist and there's going to be a shadow. So for this specific fist and for this specific light, there's going to be a certain shadow created. If I turned off all the other lights and all I used was this light here, this light is going to create a shadow over there because the fist is in the way. The shadow is always on the back side of where the light's coming from because a shadow is just absence of light, right? So the light's coming in, hitting my fist, and it's not getting back here because my fist is in the way. If this light is blue, that means that no blue light is going to get back here. Not any of it. Okay, so I'm going to shoot my blue light this way. It's going to hit my fist, and then no blue light is going to get back here. But if in the same time I'm shooting an orange light, and my orange light is coming this way, and it's doing the same thing but opposite. So my orange light's coming this way, hitting my fist, and no orange light is getting over here. But for this light, no blue light was getting over here. We have a situation where you'll look at the shadows and you'll say, wait a minute, those shadows over there look more blue because remember the orange didn't travel through, but the blue is over here. The blue can hit this point. The blue can hit this point, no problem, but the orange can't hit this point. Okay, so the blue light will be in those shadows a little bit, but then over here, the blue light can't get to that area, but from over here, the orange light can. So you'll see if you use two different colors of light, what you'll see is that sometimes the shadows will have different colors than the highlights, or maybe even two areas of shadow will have two totally different color tones, and that's bad. You don't want that. Unless you were aiming for that with a creative vision. You don't want that because it's going to be super hard to fix in post, because if you try to pull the image to be a little bit more orange, or you try to pull the image to be a little bit more blue, then you're going to have a hard time because then the blue is going to get bluer or the orange is going to get oranger, versus If you have something that's all orange, completely orange, with an orange light here and an orange light there and just orange and the whole thing is orange, you can pull the entire thing towards blue and it'll even out. Okay, so you want to make sure that you don't use two different color types, because if you use two different color types, you're going to have a really hard time fixing those errors in post where the shadows from certain light sources are blocked and they come through with different tones that don't match.